Today, I am going to share one of the easiest, most delicious peanut butter egg recipes. Hello, my name is Deb from Just Do Something Homestead, and this recipe will have everyone raving about your homemade peanut butter eggs. For over 20 years, my church made these eggs every year, and people just grabbed them. They were so delicious. It has just 4 ingredients. Yes, you heard me right, 4 ingredients. You will need peanut butter, powdered sugar, butter, and melting wafers. That is it. I have decided to take this recipe and divide it by 2. Jim and I just don't need to eat quite so many peanut butter eggs. This recipe calls for a 1/2 cup of butter, 20 ounces of peanut butter, and 1 pound of powdered sugar. It'll make 12 4-ounce eggs. The first thing I'm going to do is melt my butter. I'm going to do that in the microwave starting at 30 seconds. 1 stick of butter equals a 1/2 cup. So you're going to use 1 entire stick and you want it completely melted. And that is 1 stick of melted butter. All you need to do is set it aside while you get the peanut butter ready. One reason I love this recipe is that I don't need to dirty a lot of measuring cups. I need 20 ounces of peanut butter. And so if I look at the side here, it says this is 16.3 ounces. I'm going to use this entire container, and then the next one, I'm going to just scoop out some from the top, and that will be about 1/4 of the container. Now, usually I use all natural peanut butter, and the only ingredient is, in fact, just peanuts. But for this recipe, I need to have a little bit more than just the peanut butter because sometimes just all natural can be really thick. Sometimes it can be really thin. So this way I know it's going to be the correct consistency that I need. I added 1 full jar of peanut butter, and now I'm going to add about 1/4 of this one. Just like that. Now I'm going to stir in my 1/2 cup of melted butter. So right now all we have is peanut butter and melted butter. This is how your peanut butter mixture should look. Nice and smooth. Make sure there's no chunks of peanut butter and have it completely blended in. The next ingredient is powdered sugar. And we are going to use about 1/2 of this bag, but I'm only going to stir a little in at a time. You don't want to add the entire 1/2 bag. It's going to be too hard to stir. So just add maybe about 1/4 of the bag at a time. Make sure your powdered sugar doesn't fall over. And then you're going to stir it in. Your powdered sugar is going to get stirred in a little at a time until it's completely incorporated into it. All right, the easiest way to stir it when it gets this thick is to simply do it with your hands. So I'm gonna remove the spoon. Make sure your hands are clean. I took off all my rings. And I'm going to start mixing in the rest of the powdered sugar. Just like that. It works if you grab it and squeeze. Grab and squeeze. My peanut butter filling is all finished and stirred in. It has a very good consistency, and now I am going to put it in the refrigerator for 1 hour. You're going to want to cover it, so I'm using some press and seal. All right, I'll be back in 1 hour. My dough has cooled, and now I am going to form it into the shape of eggs. The recipe makes 4-ounce eggs, but for me, I am just going to eyeball it. I don't need to measure it and come up with all the same because, it's just the two of us eating them. So you're going to pat it so that it forms an egg shape. And then I'm putting it on parchment paper on a cookie sheet. So at this point, I'm just going to take some dough, roll it in my hands, and then flatten it into an egg shape. Just like that. I decided to make 6 large eggs and 8 small ones. And at this point, I have formed them by rolling the dough in my hand and squishing it out to an egg shape. And I am going to place these in the refrigerator for 30 more minutes. It is time to dip the peanut butter eggs in chocolate. First thing I did is covered up a large cutting board with parchment paper. And now I have put the melts in a bowl to melt in the microwave. You're going to heat it up for 30 seconds at a time and stir until completely melted. I melted the chocolate until it's smooth. The little lumps you see in there are actually little bubbles of air. So stir it all up, make sure it is smooth. And I'm going to start with one of my small ones. So I am just going to pick this up, drop it into the chocolate. And what I like to do is actually pour the chocolate on top. I think that's a little bit easier. Like that. And then take a fork and I am going to scoop it out. Just like that. And I'm going to smack it down just a little bit to get the excess off. Looking good. Slide it across there and place it on parchment paper. Come on. And there is my first one. Now, it usually takes 2 hands to get them off, so I am going to use 2 hands to do the rest of these. I am going to keep on dipping my peanut butter eggs. This one is a large one. I'm going to turn it in the bowl upside down, then flip him over, and make sure that I get chocolate on all sides of him. I can easily do that by scooping it on them, just like that. And then reach in. Ooh, he looks so good. And it's much easier if you have 2 forks. All right, scrape off the excess and place him on my parchment paper, just like that. All right, here are some of them that I have already finished. They are looking wonderful. Here's one of the small ones. He looks a little crooked, but that's okay. That's a beauty. And I'm going to go ahead and dip all of these peanut butter eggs. I'm going to add some more wafers. Now, you can use any kind. This is light cocoa. You could use dark chocolate, white chocolate. You can decorate them in many different ways. I am going to actually melt some white chocolate a little bit later. But right now, I am just using a basic chocolate to dip my eggs. I'm going to melt just the teeniest little bit of white chocolate to decorate these eggs with. Same as my milk chocolate, I am just going to microwave it for about 30 seconds, maybe a little less because it's just a small amount. I melted the white chocolate and put it into a Ziploc and then squeezed it until it got down to the corner. Now I'm going to cut off the tiniest little tip and use that to decorate my eggs. All right, so I'm going to use this little Ziploc to decorate my eggs. And when I mean the teeniest little bit, you just want a tiny, tiny little portion to come out. And so to decorate, I'm just going to go back and forth over my eggs. And look at these beautiful decorated peanut butter eggs. This one right here looks just about perfect. You know what the best part is? Yes, they look wonderful. They taste amazing. I am going to go stick these into the refrigerator, which will help to solidify them, and that way I can store them. And look at that beautiful peanut butter egg. Your homemade peanut butter eggs should be stored in the refrigerator. If you enjoyed this recipe, please like, subscribe, and share. And don't forget to hit that bell button. That way, anytime a new recipe comes out, you'll be the first to see it. Have a great night. Bye-bye.